Hello, wildlings. I'm your Creepsmith, and you found my Fear Forge. Lucky you. Tonight's tiny tale of terror, Reoccurring Nightmare. When I was a child, I developed a peculiar set of sleeping habits due to a recurring nightmare I experienced. The nightmare always began the same way. My cousin and I would be playing with Legos, laughing and remarking about each other's creations, and we would hear a knock. A deep, awkward set of hits against wood echoing throughout my room would fill my head. I'd pause, and suddenly I would feel a sense of anxiety. You could call it a sixth sense of fear and excitement, except I thought I had no reason to feel that way. It was just my mother, Shirley, respecting our privacy and asking for admittance into the room, and I would call out, "Come in," and look to the door. But it wouldn't open. Instead, the closet door would open, and a disfigured being resembling a man would race out and grab my cousin by the face. Then he would squeeze, and my cousin's skull and brain would shatter. Blood would spray everywhere, and I could do nothing but stand speechless. I wouldn't even react. I just stared at what was left of my cousin. And then the same would be done to me. I'd scream out for my mother, not to save myself, but to protect her. I would die before my voice could even alert my mom, however. The last thing that I'd see in the dream was a yellowed, wrinkly hand clenched in front of my eyes. This happened over and over for 2 weeks, each time resulting in my waking up to clenched sheets and cold sweat. Soon, on the beginning of the 3rd week, I would find a way to fall asleep after my nightmare. I grabbed my stuffed bear and dangled him over the edge of the bed, holding his arm tight. I would awake to find him fallen on the ground, and this simple solution to my problem caused me to stop having the nightmares and return to a normal sleep schedule. From there on, I'd feel reassured that if I had a firm grasp on my bear, it would help the anxiety dissipate. Today, of course, I'm much older and no longer living with my parents, but when I was clearing out my cluttered garage for space, I went through a couple of very old boxes. There were a few old pictures that I rummaged through, and I found one that must have been my parents taking a picture of me sleeping. The picture was from an older camera before digital printing had become a thing. Although the sides of the picture were yellow and torn, the quality of the image was still surpassingly crisp. I noted that it was after I'd had the nightmares. My hand was dangling over the edge of the bed. I smiled, and I was deep in thought for a moment, indulging myself in an old memory. I was about to toss the picture away when I took one last look at the bear I'd been holding. Except I wasn't holding on to a bear. The bear was a few inches away from my hand. Instead of a happy, smiling stuffed toy that brought me warmth and joy, there was a different hand grasping mine. Instead of a fluffy brown bear hand, there was a yellow one, wrinkled and clenched. Oh yeah, that was brilliant. Record a story in the middle of the night, and now I'm not going to be able to sleep for a bloody week. Anyway, stay scary, my wildlings, and make the most of your nights.